Aliza Tropper is here. She is a therapist who works with adolescents and adults who are struggling with anxiety, depression, trauma, emotion regulation. And Aliza Tropper, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Appreciate that. A lot of people are dealing with anxiety issues these days, huh?
Yeah, the numbers are just insurmountable. You know, they say one in every 4 adults is struggling with an anxiety disorder.
Wow, that's a pretty startling statistic, to say the least.
Yeah.
And anxiety is, I assume, especially for a professional like you, is a big area. Do we know specifically what the largest number of people in our community are suffering from when it comes to anxiety? Is there a specific symptom or cause or situation that's leading to all this anxiety in our community?
I mean, there's so much. There's so many factors. I mean, just even think about it for a minute. You're sitting down to fill out a paper, do some, paperwork, and in 30 seconds your phone dings. The next second an email comes in from your computer, and then the microwave goes off and says your food is ready. I mean, how could we not be overwhelmed in a world where there's so many distractions? It's so hard to be present. So I think today's culture and society is creating this. There's just so much. And on top, you want me to keep going?
No, I was just going to say, we don't realize the stress that we're under.
Right, exactly.
We're going through what you just described. Everybody's going through it.
Right now we're going through this.
Right. Young and old, trying to juggle all of this. And you didn't even mention financial concerns, what we are worried about regarding our children and their education. Forget about the money for a minute, just their education in general and the programs we'd like them to get into. I mean, it piles up into one big mountain.
Mm-hmm. It's so much. There's the regular just worries of society, and then on top of that, we live in a culture where there's these unrealistic expectations that are being shown to adolescents, to adults, just around the media, and that creates a lot of anxiety. It's so overwhelming.
And that's because people then go ahead and question their own self-worth or their own ability to be like that athlete or actor or actress or celebrity, etc. Right? Mm-hmm. It's a tough thing to put on our kids, frankly. It's a really hard time to be. So how do professionals like you deal with these issues? What can you possibly do or introduce into the lives of average people in our community that helps with all of this?
I mean, there's so much. Just helping clients, I think at this point, it's a lot about managing anxiety and understanding how our thoughts, feelings, emotions are connected and impact ourselves. Just understanding our triggers, understanding self-awareness of how we feel and how we're thinking and what we're doing, and just helping clients see that we live in a world with so much uncertainty, and I think because of that, people are so much trying to get certainty when that doesn't exist. We're obsessed with trying to get certainty. I mean, think about it. The news, right? It's all about predicting the weather and the future, the Super Bowl, all these things. When we're so obsessed with things being certain and things are so uncertain, then of course we're going to be anxious. So I think helping clients and helping you as us, everyone, learning to live with uncertainty.
So you're basically telling a lot of young adults and adults, sort of, this is normal. Sort of like, what you're going through is the way things are today.
Yeah, and yes, there's definitely, we all struggle with anxiety at certain points, right? It's a feeling if we're going through a stressful event. But on top of that, there's times where anxiety really impacts people in a much greater way, where it really starts to impact their functioning, their sleep, their eating. And that's where, we're looking at people who need maybe extra help. Right. But overall, I think that everyone at some point in their life is probably going to speak to someone. And that's okay. And I think that's what really on Mudim is, they're destigmatizing that it's okay to ask for help. And they're normalizing that. And I think that is so important. People know I'm not alone in this. Like right now, you said to me, oh, so this is normal. And that's exactly what Mudim, I think, is doing, is showing that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to struggle. And, but I think because of all these factors, this is why people are struggling.
But the point that you just made about how all this can affect someone's physical being.
Yeah.
That is such a key.
I know.
It literally can eat away at your life, your physical existence because of everything that's going through. Obviously, someone in that situation really needs to reach out to get help. I'm not minimizing those who have not gotten to that stage yet, but what you just described in terms of affecting someone's physical being, they need to know that they have to, whether it's Amudim or someone else who can help them, they've got to reach out and get that help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we physically feel our emotions in our body, and I think that this is part of what people are struggling with, is that they think that they shouldn't feel uncomfortable. They think that we shouldn't have emotions. And because of that, this leads to a lot of anxiety, but understanding that, of course, we're going to have emotions. Of course, we're going to go through life experiencing all sorts of emotions, and that's okay. And I think that the more we learn to tolerate being uncomfortable, the more we learn to tolerate distress, then that really helps us manage our lives and helps us really manage anxiety. Avoidance of sensations of emotions causes general anxiety disorder. And I think that that's part of the work that we do in therapy. And I think we all need to know is that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to be upset. And I think that the culture, though, doesn't give that message. The culture gives this message of things need to be perfect. And I think this is what we're getting, one message from our culture, but then that's not how reality works. It's not how human beings work. We need emotions to tell us things. And I think because of that, we're like all over the place. You know, this is what causes emotion dysregulation.
Well, I was going to ask Aliza Tropper to help me pitch for Amudim, but frankly, this conversation was one amazing pitch for Amudim. Those of you out there who know that there are people in the community who suffer from this tremendous stress and anxiety and depression to an extent as well, some people in very serious situations, they need to be able to reach out, and Amudim needs to be there for them when they do reach out. So please, join Aliza Tropper and me in supporting Amudim and doing what we can for the organization.